What is up, guys? It's your boy Skin, and we're back with a very crazy episode. I know people have been waiting for this. So we got my boy. Whoa, I'm sorry. First, we got the co-host as always, C Faru. Yep, looking good.
Thank you.
And then to my right, we got Dustin Anthony, representing the Repubs today.
Repubs.
And then to my left, we got Jack Borvan, representing the Dems today.
Of course, the left, always.
Representing the left, representing the right.
You can tell by his rolled jeans.
Of course. My long slippers.
Absolutely. So,
Got you.
guys, you've been really supporting me. I want to thank you guys for all the support that I've been getting. Body slam that like button. Press that little subscribe button for me if you guys can. I just want to thank you guys for everything you do. You know what I'm saying? Connor's going to kick it off with the first question.
Alrighty, so we're going to do a little speed round action. I'm going to ask a question, and then I'm going to say, I'll give you two options. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and then you guys both answer. Alright.
I'd probably drive the Prius. I can't afford the gas. So
Okay.
I've changed my mind. Prius.
Okay.
Alright, dog or cat? 3, 2, 1.
Dog.
Cat.
Alright, West Coast or South? 3, 2, 1.
South.
West Coast, of course.
South
Cali,
West Coast,
baby.
South West
Spring
Coast
break,
too, man.
2019.
What? Everyone goes to Gulf Shores and to Florida for spring break. What do you mean with?
I went to Gulf Shores last year, so I can't really.
Yeah, the South is fun, man. We got coast
All right.
too,
Alright, so,
and Whataburger.
In a couple weird flags that hang up, and I don't really.
okay. Alright.
It's Austin.
Wall or no wall? 3, 2, 1.
Wall.
No wall.
Oh.
Okay, Which brings
Slow
us
down.
to our first topic.
Yeah, let's bring us to our first topic. The wall. And I'm going to direct this question to start off with Dustin.
Why am I the one that started?
Because he'll start off the next one.
The first question is just simply, you believe in the wall,
Yeah.
right?
I do.
Why?
Why should we be worried about helping other people that want to come into our country, whether it's like illegal, that want to come into our country illegally, before we want to like protect our own people? I think the wall is necessary for protection. First of all, like we have a wall on the southern border, but it's like barbed wire and some stakes in the ground, and then there are some places where there's nothing. Like, I think establishing our border security is important to like keeping our country.
What about Canada?
If we want to, if that becomes an issue, then we'll put a wall on the northern border too. Like it may mean.
Now they're too nice. They'd ask first.
So we're going to let Jack respond to that.
Well, first when I was given some of the topics, this immigration wasn't one, but luckily I'm quite informed.
You had to assume that it was going to be brought up.
So
We're gonna tell you everything.
I guess I can bring up an example. 21 Savage was just arrested by ICE because of an expired visa. Now, he applied for one in 2017, and it actually takes 4 years for ICE to verify a new visa for him. And so my question comes into, it takes 4 years to get a new visa. I wonder how many millions of people have to do that every year, even if it's hundreds of thousands. My numbers could be wrong. But the fact that it's so difficult and it takes so long is why people are coming in illegally. Now, I would think that if something were offered as, you know, we're going to make it easier to come into America, we are going to allow as many people as we possibly can, where right now there's actually a limit from every country how many people are allowed to get in. And there are actually hundreds of thousands of people waiting at certain countries to come into America. Now, they are trying to do it legally, and they cannot. And when there are Mexican cartels running the government in Mexico, they're going to come in however they can to save their children, their families, and you know, so that's what I got.
Well, that's awesome.
But at the same time, the southern border protects from the cartels and all that coming in. Like, I understand, like,
It's true.
applying for the visas can take a while, but if it's worth it, then it's worthwhile.
Now, the wall by itself, I think it's symbolic in the sense of it does, even if we don't want it to, even if it's not the meaning, it does symbolize hate, and it kind of everything that Trump's candidacy and presidential whatever you want to call it. There's hate and racism, and I'm okay if we want to tighten up security. Totally okay with that. But I think you have to also offer an easier way to get into America. And this is another topic that doesn't get brought up. We're going to talk about it later, I'm sure, but the legalization of marijuana. A lot of the drugs that are being transported, the dangerous drug cartels that are coming in are distributing pot throughout America. If we legalize it, we cut off them from, really having any type of product to sell.
I assume they bring other things.
Well, of course they do, but I'm talking the majority, I'm sure. It has to be marijuana, it has to be.
Actually. But, so your idea, like, of transferable citizenship, like, you think that's a thing that should be around?
Can you define a little bit more of
like, oh yeah, I should be a citizen here because I made it here. Like, I should just get to be a citizen.
The thing is there are people that came in as babies and they've spent their whole life here, and then they're just now being told that they have to go back to wherever they came from. I don't know how fair that is when, they've been here for 20 years, 30 years sometimes, and then you're telling them to get out, especially if they've, if they've been paying taxes, they've been doing different things, they've been working hard. I think I think it's fair, especially for the kids and people with families. I'd argue very much so that they've got their lives here, and to take it away from them now would be kind of wrong.
But if they've been here that long, they can apply for citizenship, take the citizenship. Actually, they can take the citizenship test after living here for 14 or 15 years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So like at that same time,
I'm just gonna put that out there. I've looked at some of the questions. I ain't passing that thing.
So why is it our job to bring in people from other countries? Like, they could very well go to a different country or they could try and get into Canada. Like, they could do that kind of stuff. But like, why is it our job to take care of them? I mean, because once they start coming over illegally, it puts $135 billion on taxpayers' shoulders, and it's a $5.7 billion wall. And I understand, like,
Yeah, what do you
people
think about the money?
The financial $5.7 billion for a wall to stop $135 billion. That makes a lot of sense to me. It seems pretty fiscally responsible.
Well,
like, I understand there are people running from
inflated.
like bad stuff. Like, I understand that not everyone coming over is bad, but at the same time, why is it like have to be our job to save other people before we protect ourselves from the bad that could be coming in with those people? Is more my issue I have with it. Like, I'm a pretty helpful guy. I think most people here will acknowledge that I'll help someone that needs help.
You do.
He does. No, he definitely does.
He's definitely
like-
moved a couch for me.
So,
But, like-
he's been there.
Hospitality.
Dustin's been there.
But like, so like I
Because you're the
understand.
only one with the truck.
No.
That's not true.
But then at the same time, but like, so I can understand people wanting to come in. At the same time, like, the easier we make it, like, the cheaper the idea of like American culture and like the identity of America is by letting just a whole bunch of different people in, like more and more people, because we're already the most diverse country in the world. Like, we have the most diverse group, and I'm all for helping people. But like, when we can't help everyone that's in our country before we can help other people, that's where I kind of have an issue with being like, yeah, we should help these people.
So the second question is, do people have the right to have AR guns? And that's to Jack.
And so we took a brief intermission, and Dustin's, he's very informed on the gun policies and the gun lifestyle, I'm sure. But for me, I don't have too much statistics to provide. I do know, however, that the right to bear arms was written in, the 1700s, and I think that then it was a time that we were worried about our government taking control, because they actually, people immigrated from England and Spain and France and all these places to come to America, and they had to protect themselves. We had a like Revolutionary War. It was insane, and so right now though, the government has so much power in the Army is so insane that if they wanted to eliminate all of us, they could do it like that. They could press a button, boop, or just all dead. So us having those guns to try and protect ourselves from the government, to me, doesn't seem necessary.
What about from the common folk?
For the common folk, I think a lot of them argue safety, and I'd be content with a pistol or whatever you need really to feel comfortable, and that's for me just not going to be a gun that you can go ahead and mass murder children at schools. And so I think that
Can't you do that with a handgun though too?
Yeah, and that's me trying to be open to some sort of reform that involves them at least being okay, so that they can say yes to that. But even if I doubt we'd be able to get that. So you're free.
I mean, I agree. I think you're right in saying that you doubt like that would happen, just because
Look at that.
constitutional strength is going to be what happens. But so an AR, it's not a common use for hunting gun, but people do hunt with them. It's literally a typical hunting rifle and an AR are very similar. The thing is, the AR looks scarier, and it has a 30 round mag put in it typically, but a hunting rifle can have a 30 round mag put in it. It comes down to when it comes down to taking life because of the guns you have access to, it's how you were raised. I don't think it's as much the access. Obviously access makes it easier. You know what? I could if I wanted to. That should never be a thought that crosses someone's head that owns a gun. But at the same time, plenty of pistols are semi-auto. It's how fast you pull the trigger and how many clips you have preloaded. And that's a tough question, because I don't think anyone should just be able to walk in and be like, you know what, everyone here needs to die and kill everyone. But at the same time, 323 million people can take on our military if the president, even though the president that's in charge was someone I voted for, I don't trust the government. I don't trust them to not turn on their people. But I think
Wait. You said you think
323 million people can take on our military.
The military?
The military.
Obviously,
Texas by itself could take out a good part of the military.
They get out of here before that would even happen.
So
they'd say we're in.
Yes, they have the
country.
nukes and all that, but you also have to think, not everyone in the military is going to be like, yeah, let's turn on our people.
Let's say they. Well, yeah.
Think,
that happens.
That's a hypothetical.
No, that's a logical. That's a logical
then why?
rationale
But here's my
thought
question.
that the military would not not everyone in the military is going to be like, yeah, let's kill all
Well,
the
yeah,
people that are
but
uprising.
here's my question: if not everybody in the military is going to be like, "Oh, let's go kill these people," then why do we need guns to protect ourselves against the military when
There's
people
great.
in our own military are going to go against the military itself? You know what I mean? You should get what I'm saying.
Because the military that isn't going to stop could, for whatever reason, now we're getting hypotheticals. What if they overcome the military that's trying to stop them from doing the bad?
Well, then we're screwed anyways.
No.
Aren't we?
Well, no, because then they're severely outnumbered, and I think I'll take numbers over that.
Okay.
So, kind of just to respond, if we are living in a country that we have to be scared that they're gonna one day revolt and kill us all, I'm gonna be honest, I think they do it, and I don't think it's worth sacrificing kids being at school and losing their lives because we just want to own guns just in case the government wants to overrule, or just in case somebody breaks in. There are plenty of weapons. There's very good home security systems. I understand those things happen, but if I'm looking at it, I think kids' lives matter, and we've lost too many already. One's too many. Even the thought of losing one is too many. But I will say this. There was a big issue in social media and everything about gun reform, and that was being pushed. And they actually had kids from a school shooting in Florida talk to Marco Rubio about, the school shooting that happened. And he's like, why would you not ban guns, pretty much is what he's asking. Why would we not have gun reform? And he got destroyed on national television, but we just all of a sudden stopped talking about it. No gun reform has happened. The NRA donates millions and probably billions of dollars to the government, most of the right side, just to keep their gun reform, because to keep gun reform from happening, and they've done a damn good job at it because it hasn't been brought up in 6 months. It's ridiculous how long it's been.
Yeah, but what was crazy is that we could hear from all the kids that were for the gun control, so the left-sided view, but all the conservative kids that were like, no, we need guns because that way this wouldn't happen, like letting teachers that want to be armed that could stop this faster. They didn't get nearly the time of day that the other kids did. So at the same time, you have to think
true.
if it's not being equally valued, like you're right. Like kids should not have to go to school and be afraid that they might die. Like that is a terrible thought. But best way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Someone shouldn't suffer because they
All
can't
All
right,
afford
right,
to.
relax, everybody.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Don't get mad at the mediator.
but it-
Don't get mad at
But
the
it was.
mediator.
I just want to establish that it was
Okay,
set up
all
to
right.
fail. So
Here we go.
There it is.
All right. So this question: should medical marijuana be legal?
Well,
Or any
medical
marijuana,
is legal.
any
I mean,
marijuana.
not.
some
I don't know why I
places.
put
In
medical.
some places,
Should
that
marijuana
push be
should
legal?
Federally, should Kush be legal? Pot. Weed. Should it be legal? Players
should
discuss.
weed itself be illegal? Not medical. Excuse me.
see, you asked me medicinal, and I prepared for medicinal because I think medicinal is where it needs to kind of stop.
Okay. Well, you can
can
answer
discuss.
some-
I don't.
you
I
can
just.
discuss
I don't. It's personally, I don't really see a point in it being just legalized for people to be like, oh yeah, let's. Why are we trying to literally outlaw cigarettes, but inhaling smoke from smoking a joint is okay? Either way,
other
obviously
ways
they're
to do it.
obviously they're yes, and the edibles, and that's actually how Oklahoma. So I was going to talk about medicinally that as long as it helps economically, I have no problem with it. Nevada does it right. Nevada funds their education system and all that. They use it to better their economy, and that's where I'm okay with it. And people that legitimately need it, I'll acknowledge it helps. And Oklahoma went and wrote a law. Oklahoma's law was ass. Oklahoma's law doesn't help any economic development. It's not large enough to where it can help widespread people. It's just whoever wants to grow 8 plants and then distribute it can do that. When they apply for medical marijuana cards, if you apply, you get it. There's no standing proving that you need it. It's just if you want it, you get it, which I think is that's not acceptable. That someone that can just be like someone our age being like, oh yeah, I need medicinal marijuana because I have a headache every once in a while. That's not a migraine, not something serious. I know guys that do that back home.
Let's take it even a step further,
So-
just to have it recreational.
So right here, recreational, being able to buy marijuana as you can a cigarette, as you can alcohol. The big tobacco companies, despite our efforts for a long, long time to destroy them, they are still around. We will never be able to fully legalize tobacco when we're alive. I don't think it's going to happen. If it does, fantastic. Now I'll get to a couple
You
points.
said fully legalized or fully?
Fully
Or
illegal.
illegalized, my bad.
But I don't mean to interrupt.
No, I got you right here, though. I got you right here.
He got you right here.
You mentioned Nevada, so I'll bring up the first statistic. That they estimate that $1.7 billion in labor income alone that they would receive if recreational marijuana became legal. Another statistic that I found from New Frontier, they say that if legal marijuana was done federally, we would generate an additional $131.8 billion in federal tax revenue by 2025. We are earning a lot of money. Now, I'm not even done with the statistics. That same company reports that 1.1 million jobs would be created. Investment opportunities would boost the stock market. It would be insane. The marijuana enforcement, this is for you too. The marijuana enforcement costs several $billions a year. We know that. We legalize it, we don't have that cost anymore. We're now adding more hundreds of billions of dollars to what we're already earning. And I do truly believe that if we made marijuana legal, we could potentially help, not not completely solve, but help solve the opioid problem that we have in the Midwest, because in 2017, 70,000 people died from opioid overdoses. But I think if somebody is choosing between Vicodin or, you know, smoking a doobie with my brothers. But that's Michael Scott.
It's a great.
But
it's a great reference.
I think you do help in some cases.
Okay, we're not stepping on this right now.
That's a debate.
That's a different time.
That's a debate.
That's a Netflix debate for your next show.
That's a good debate.
That's a debate.
Coming to your next episode.
That's right.
But at the same time, like, so the thing, like, cigarettes, they hurt more than just people that smoke them. Someone that dips, they hurt themselves. They aren't hurting other people. There's no secondhand smoke from putting a lip in. Like,
but people die every year of, you know, being an alcoholic, driving drunk. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of cases of people drinking, but that's still legal. Why are we going to take something that's technically never killed somebody? Really? I mean, you can maybe find a couple hundred, maybe. I've never heard of anybody dying because of marijuana. I just don't know why something like that could potentially help people medically, not kill people, and offer another substance to use, because they're going to use a substance anyways, use a safer substance than, you know, opioids or even alcohol. You can go that far, or even tobacco if you want to go that far. You can do that. You offer something safer. We're going to get rich as hell. America's going to get some cash, some green, 2 types of green. It's going to be insane.
That would give back to the illegal immigrants. But
no, exactly. We solved the immigration problem. We now can afford to have multiple people. Immigrants? Oh my God! So, see how it all connects right there.
So
we stopped those cartels from coming into America over the border illegally. We have enough money to help immigrants, so we can have more of them. Come on.
Weed is the answer.
No, that's not what I'm getting at.
That's what I'm saying.
But like, okay, so my main issue, like, it's not my thing. I don't smoke, never have.
Of course,
don't ever plan on it.
You don't have to.
So it's like, I have no use for it. It's probably why I don't have an inside viewpoint like some people do.
Of course.
However, the people that have voted on it at state level have not voted on it in the economic standpoint. They've voted on it in the fact that, I can smoke weed and get away with it now. And I think that needs to be put on the back burner, and we need to put economy first when we're voting on how our, like, marijuana stuff's going to, like, medicinal marijuana, I'm all for if the laws are written right. Oklahoma did it wrong. They need to redo it. We have a new governor that I think will rewrite it and will improve it. Recreationally, I mean.
You know, I know you, and I know that, you know, economy is big time. That's why I wanted to provide you with some statistics that we can get behind.
If those numbers are accurate and they can be done, like, recreationally, like, I mean, I guess I have no issue with it. I don't think I'm ever gonna be a legitimate advocate, because I think a lot of people sit around and end up wasting their life and their time because they'd rather sit around and smoke dope with their friends and talk. Same as it's extended in some ways. I mean, people say marijuana is not addictive. Like, it's I think it is a gateway drug. People sitting around smoking a joint with their buddies and shooting the shit is the same as alcoholics sitting around all day and shooting the shit.
That's true.
So, like,
but that's legal.
That is legal. But at the same time, like, if we're just having more people waste time because they want to smoke weed, like, that's another problem that needs to be addressed. But at the same time, if economically it can advance America to that next level, like, I mean, I can't say I'd vote for it, but I can't say I'd have a strong stand against it. Probably
if your taxes go down, because there's $130 billion in the federal government, so that'd be cool.
Okay. Next question here. Is climate? This is to Dustin. You already know I'm getting at. Is climate change an issue?
This is. Do humans contribute to climate change? You're changing a lot of questions, man.
I'm just changing up.
It's even on both of us.
I feel like that's kind of a problem as a co-host.
Yeah.
Because this is clearly
I don't think
Hunter's show.
Clearly my show.
I don't think Furu would ever do this.
He's in the big font.
But
I'd come
so I think humans contribute to climate change. I think climate change is.
I say climate change is an issue.
Yes. I think it is an issue to an extent. I think it is a far over exaggerated, and not everything given is accurate. But I do think it's an issue that we will have to address in the future. But I don't think we're in imminent danger of dying. Like, the sea level is rising. Oh, everyone in Florida is going to die. Like,
Florida's kind of waste of space anyway.
People are
See
gonna
those
no,
news-
but like
you
it's
know.
not like it's gonna. It's like Ben Shapiro has a great like argument on this. Like, yes, it's real. Like, you'd have to be dumb to say climate change isn't a real thing. Global warming is not fair because the Earth goes through global cooling and global warming stages. So global change, like climate change, embraces all of it. 35 years ago, they were saying that there's going to be another ice age that was going to kill us all off. So like, I think it needs to be like, it's something that
Felt like it.
needs to be addressed and at
Felt like
least
it
like
last week.
Yes.
I think it needs to be worked on, but I don't think it needs to be worked on in drastic measures as if it's going to happen tomorrow.
I will say I was behind you for a little bit. I was. But you're right. We're not going to die tomorrow because of climate change. But our children are not going to have a place to live. Our children's children will not have a environmental place to live. They won't be able to see elephants at this rate, like polar bears. They will never see a polar bear or a penguin because I have a statistic right here. It was on NASA. Greater than
Shout out Steve.
Shout out Steve for sure. Hey NASA, hire Steve. He's a badass.
Do hire Steve.
But
he might be feeding Jack,
yes.
but like
Probably the most athletic person that works at NASA.
He didn't give me this. by the
athletically
way.
inclined and an intellect.
Yes,
hire him.
He is insane. He actually didn't give me this stat. But greater than 95%, there's a greater 95% probability that the current warming trend is the result of human activity since the beginning of the 20th century. And there are more statistics that I'd like to talk about. So CO2, carbon dioxide, in the atmosphere.
I understand what CO2 is. I took high school science.
Well, you'll know
Hey,
that physics.
let's keep it
When Jack's done, I'm gonna let you
civilized here, DA.
Hey, I can make a slight joke here and there. Okay?
Physics shows
Right.
us that CO2 absorbs heat. And so there are statistics and several of them, but burning fossil fuels is the reason for increased carbon dioxide. Increased carbon dioxide is now being absorbed by ice, the oceans, and the atmosphere total. And so that's a lot of heat that's being generated, and that's where we see that that global warming, because more carbon dioxide's in the air and it's just absorbing more heat. And so I've got a bunch of different things. You could talk about the acidity of the surface ocean waters. It's increased 30%.
Do you want to respond to that?
I mean, I'm not a science guy, so I'm not going to get in and be like science works this way, this way, this way.
I'll tell you this. Hold on. One more thing and I'm done. An article states that 90 to 100% of the climate scientists today say that global warming is from humans.
So, you said from the beginning of the 20th century?
Whenever the mid-20th century.
So,
That's a quick response.
that doesn't quite like add up completely because you can go see that 35 years ago they were talking about how an ice age was going to come to freeze us all. Like global warming's a thing, but global cooling is also a thing. Like there are trends. Like the hockey stick graph is not accurate. That's not it has not gone strictly up. Like it's gone down as well. Like it was one of the coldest. It's one of the coldest winters on record right now in the Midwest.
And a lot of times people confuse climate change. Just because it's colder here doesn't mean that, global warming isn't real. It means that there are extreme temperatures, and that's really what climate change is.
Yeah, like I said,
it's
climate
kind of
change is a real
extreme
thing.
compared to what we had last year. If you just want to compare.
I mean, but that's the other thing though is I think it's misled in the media because the media doesn't know that stuff. They don't know to address it as and say it's climate change because global warming and global cooling are both things. That's what makes it climate change. But I think global warming is misleading as if it's the only way that it's happening. When overall it's been climate change.
All right, break it up, you two. Break it up. Break it up. Break it up. Break it up.
Well,
because the camera is dying. The camera's dying.
Talk about
So
it.
that's the last thing. So basically,
No.
guys,
For the
Global warming
we're gonna
is
have
real,
to wrap.
people. Scientists say so. They are way smarter than me. They're
Do you
way
want
smarter
him
than
ever
We're
to
me.
be
gonna
on
have to wrap
again?
it up.
It's real.
We're gonna have to wrap it up. Guys, we're gonna end this really quickly. Thank you. Body slam that
Human
like
error is a
button.
thing. Jack said it earlier.
Subscribe, and we out.
Nice.